It's showtime! Are we live?
Yep, I'm recording.
Alright. Hey everybody! I'm your host, Scratch the Original Fruit, also known as Carmichael, also known as Mikey, here with another official game for you. Or actually, technically my first official game that I'll be hosting, not another one. But still. This one is called Golden Opportunities, Episode 1, Now Hiring. I am your host, and we will be going down the line and introducing our players and the characters they will be cast as. Going down the line, it will be Petals.
Oh shit, I'm first for once. That's new. Okay. I am the gardening clown, also known as Petals, and I'll be playing as Emily Burnout, the scrawny, scrunkly, grumpy rocket scientist.
I'm Ollie, also known as Bobbins, and I'm going to be doing Velvet, the tiny haunted rabbit. She just likes adventure a lot.
Howdy, I'm Hoosh, and I will be playing Lucy. And I'm a toon amphibian with a knack for trying to figure out more.
Hi, I'm Candlestick, and today I'm going to be playing my twins, Ellie and Layla Thomas, who are here to have fun.
Hello, I am Cherry Picked, and I am playing Teacup. He's a teacup. He's here to make a mess.
Make a mess before his big debut. Delightful. We love to see it. Now, give me a moment to stretch my back. I realized an ache just came up. Okay. With our introductions out of the way, let's get the introduction down. Per the... hang on a moment. Let me pull up what I was going to read. Here we go. As per the recently installed Bulletin Board at EGAD Headquarters and Bulletin Boards across Inkwell, a business opportunity has come up for enterprising adventurers. Post-its posted by the illustrious inventor Dr. Opportunity, looking for volunteers as willing test subjects for his latest lines of toys. Payment looks to be royal depending on the experiment, though the location is vague and rather cryptic in nature, not really giving a specific address, but rather just vague location somewhere in the faraway forest, east of the Dreamworkers territory. Aside from that, pay looks good. There is mention of full insurance. What could possibly go wrong? Now, whether you picked up the job from EGAD Headquarters or you picked it up from any board anywhere in Inkwell, it doesn't matter. Business is business, and science is good, no matter what anybody else says. I'm going to assume, with this being out of the way, that if the group is not from EGAD, then you probably would meet the rest of the EGAD-centric group, depending on if they're from EGAD or not, in the area of meeting, which would be Faraway Forest. If you would please, I would like to see everybody roll a 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll actually roll a d5 to see who arrives first. So get me to the roll zone real quick. I almost typed the command for roll 20 instead of... Okay, so that is Hoosh and Candle, Petals. Cherry, would you roll a d5?
What would I do?
Cherry and Bobbins, roll a d5. We're deciding who arrives first. And if you roll the same number, we'll say you arrive at the same time. Okay, so let's see. We have three ones in the form of Hoosh, Petals, and Bobbins. So your three characters arrive first. Allow me to describe Faraway Forest before you get properly introduced to one another. Faraway Forest is a lovely forest just due east of the Dreamworkers territory. Mostly full of lush green fruit trees and beautiful multicolored flowers, with birds that move a little too fluidly for cartoons, but still, of course, are toons nonetheless. and animals that tend to go about their day without really talking or thinking much for themselves. Most of the toons that do live in the nearby vicinity tend to trend a line between looking two-dimensional and three-dimensional. Though if they do look three-dimensional, it's not quite the same as, say, a physical human, for example. But it's a rather sunny day, partly cloudy. Looks quite lovely, and you appear to be in the middle of a forest. So, with you three being the first to arrive, let's see your introductions to each other. How do you meet?
Wait, are we doing this in chat order? Or...
If you would like to do it in chat order, you may.
Hmm.
I have an idea for how I'd like to introduce Velvet, but I think it'd be better for the others to go first before I do.
Alright, well, I'm still thinking of it, so you can go first, Bobbins, if you want to.
Okay, so Velvet is a tiny, very small, 7 inches tall. And, she's also a little, oblivious, so she just kind of barrels in on her ball of yarn. It's just bonking into everything in the sight, just kind of oohing and awing at everything.
Beloved. Beloved.
Lucy is sort of just nose deep inside a scroll he's been studying for weeks for his college finals. Magic college, it's a big deal to him. So that's what he's been working on. But he needed the extra money to get some extra supplies, so here he is, still reading, half paying attention to where he's going.
And Emily just walks in like a normal person. Probably how do I describe this? Okay, I don't know how to descriptions are very difficult, as you can see, for me. Yeah, she's just here now, though, kind of probably with a map in hand of just the general forest, just trying that she's using to find her way here, probably grumbling under her breath of why the opportunity wanted to have an experiment all the way up here.
Being said, Hoosh and Petals, would you both mind rolling dexterity saves, since both of you are completely distracted?
Alright. See, what's your dex save, Emily? That's a +2. Well!
You do love to see it.
That's a 5 and a 14.
Alright, so since you rolled a 5, give me just a moment. I am going to turn back on push to talk. Would the tiny also roll a dexterity saving throw? Because you and Emily are going to be crashing into each other.
Sure thing. He said a saving throw?
Saving throw.
Okay, cool. There we go. Dang.
Alright, so the good news is, your lovely Tiny does not indeed get trampled in this ensuing incident. Give me just a moment. Hoosh, would you remind me of the name of your character?
Lucy.
Lucy, you managed to catch some movement out of the corner of your eye, and you just narrowly managed to avoid the full brunt of the impact, but your shoulder still kind of checks Emily a bit too hard, and Emily, you stumble aside and back over our unfortunate tiny friend and that ball of yarn, and you just fall flat on your butt.
What are you doing?
There's this just very weird, just disconcerting growling noise from this tiny before they just kind of like, are they pinned down? Or were they just kind of tossed to the side as this happened?
You would just kind of roll aside. Think of it like a circus act went a little wrong. You're fine.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So, no growling, but, she just kind of roll over the fallen toon and go, are you okay? While perched on top of them on the ball of yarn.
I'm fine. And she gets up, though, kind of giving you, Lucy, a look.
How dare you? No.
I apologize in advance, but Emily is kind of rude.
So, are you guys here because of the notice? Or just kind of wandering in here? Because I'm not sure falling over other toons is in the job description. But hey, I mean, you could get paid for anything.
Emily's still dusting herself off. I'm
as
here.
you're dusting yourself off, sorry, in the middle of you speaking, as you're dusting yourself off, Cherry, would you describe how Teacup busts in?
All right, here we go. So man, I'm not prepared. He either tumbles out of a bush or down from a tree nearby, whichever's funnier. Probably the tree. He dusts himself off and he goes, "Oh, okay. Well, that's harder without a map, without matcha. This is fine. I assume this is where this is. Hi, hello. How are ya?"
Whose 9-year-old is that?
Oh my god!
I'm not 9.
Oh, really?
I'm 12. Thank you very
Whose
much.
2-year-old is that?
Well, anyway.
Now, it's just concerned there is a lost child.
Who's the sassy lost child, anyway? I'm assuming you all are here for the job.
Which
Why are you
job
so
again?
old?
What was that?
Which job again? I have many.
The one here listed by Dr. Opportunity for the testing, or, gadget, toy testing thing.
Right, not here to scout art. Science time. Got it.
Speaking of, why do you look so old?
I am not old. I am, I didn't set an age for Emily. I am 19, thank you very much.
Look, this is supposed to be like a toy testing thing. You're so adult. It's gross.
Oh my god. As you're saying that, by the way, Candle, how would you like to introduce your twins?
Yep. So, there's 2 of them. As you probably would imagine there is when there's twins. And the blonde one, is currently dragging the, dark-haired one, behind her as, like, not running, but speed walking into the area. She's like, "Ha! We made it! We're not late! Hi, I'm Ellie. This is Layla. Oh," and she's just coming around and shaking everyone's hands. Like, "Oh, Object Head. I've never met an Object Head before. Oh, you're so small. You're so cute. I love your lab coat. Where did you get it from? How much was it? Oh, tattoos. Are they tattoos, or is it part of your design? Oh, they look so cool." Yep.
I like you.
I like you too.
Emily is just Stunned blinked at the compliment, but is not going to say anything about it.
She's still dragging her sister along behind her through introductions.
Oh, you guys still there?
Yeah.
Okay, my Discord's messing up.
Yeah, no, Discord didn't die. It's just you guys have at least a minute before your little friend shows up, so you just get to talk. You just get a minute.
Yeah, Ellie is probably babbling to, probably Cup, sorry, Cherry, what's the name? It was Cuphead?
Teacup.
Teacup. Teacup. Babbling
Who's
to Teacup.
Cuphead? Definitely sounds like a dork.
Yeah. Babbling to Teacup, because they were the most enthusiastic in returning her greeting.
Teacup is happy to listen and shout back at you, but there's no guarantee he's going to retain any of this.
That's fair.
Lucy's
Velvet's
probably
just around.
trying to interact with people, but he gets a little nervous every time he tries to say hello. So whenever anybody just walks by him, he holds out his hand and then just shyly pulls it back and just goes back to his book.
Oh, to that, Emily's probably gonna walk up to you, Lucy. I probably shouldn't remain nameless for too long. I'm Emily. You are...
Lucy Doan. I'm a part of the EGAD and a relatively new member, but I think and he's trying to not apologize, so he just shuts himself up.
Peck is an EGAD.
Explorer type stuff. I figured it'd put extracurricular for me to take part in this. I don't know if it has any academic merit, but I suppose I'd try it.
I'll keep that in mind for later. I probably don't have the time for it, but I guess it wouldn't hurt looking at it.
Poppins, while all of this is going on, what is your lovely Tiny doing?
Velvet's just kind of bopping around on the yarn ball. One of the advantages of being a tiny is that nobody notices when you're kind of a snoop. So she's just kind of rolling around, kind of listening to a bit of all these conversations.
That is so cute. Would you roll me a perception check?
Sure. Oh, wow, okay, so Velvet doesn't have as good of a perception as I thought she did.
I will say, Layla is probably observing, Velvet, because she has not been drawn into the conversation that her sister is in.
Aw. Is Velvet running into anything? Or
No, you don't notice anything. Layla, would you roll me a perception check?
Sure.
who?
That'll definitely notice, because it did not roll very well on stealth. As everybody else is talking and getting to know each other and waiting for whatever their cue may be, you notice a sort of flittering movement out of the corner of your eye. And as you look up from your tiny little friend, you notice what appears to be a canary perched on a branch in a nearby tree, watching the entire party with keen interest.
She's probably not going to say anything for like a minute. Just stare back at it. And if it continues to watch them, they're very quietly. I think we have company.
I mean, we do have a lost child here. Tea-boy? Teacup? Is your mom around?
I'm
Do we
not
need
lost.
Okay.
I know exactly where I am and why.
Or then why are you here?
Okay.
Same reason you're here.
Toys!
Toys.
Okay, whatever.
And at the mention of
what do you mean by
toys, you hear a high-pitched which draws everyone's attention to the canary, which turns, and Layla, seeing as you are the only one who rolled high enough perception to actually beat its deception roll as well, you notice that this canary, in spite of looking very lifelike, doesn't breathe in the slightest.
Fun!
Instead, it just watches the group, and you watch as one of its eyes kind of narrows in a very non-bird-like way as it asks, "Are you here for doctor opportunities, testing opportunities? Yes or no?"
There's one of his bolts. Yes?
Affirmative. Follow me. And off it flies in a completely indiscernible direction.
It just goes by.
After like 5 seconds of not being followed, it flies back abnormally quick and whistles again. And then flies slower before going back the same direction it came.
Well, Emily's gonna follow.
Yep, my two are following as well.
New direction. Let's go.
Lucy does decide to follow this strange bird.
All right, and
So you may hear my brother barking with our dogs, but also Velvet is following along.
delightful. I'm glad I turned on push to talk because the cats are fighting in the background. Ah,
Solidarity.
solidarity. The pets are having a time of it. But as you follow the bird along, you continue deeper and deeper into the woods and sort of start heading up a more mountainous area as you do. It's not the most difficult terrain, but without the bird, you imagine it would be very, very, very easy to get lost considering how big the trees get here. My god.
Oh, fun.
But
Emily's
eventually...
following along like... Oops, sorry.
No, you first.
Emily's following along like she's used to these kind of paths.
And, Emily, as you follow along, you note that the bird eventually comes to a stop on what appears to be one of the many apple trees in the area. And it just sits on a branch. It doesn't look like a clearing or any obvious entrance in the slightest, but it just sits there perfectly poised and still and waits for you.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Okay, so I'm
say,
guessing it doesn't move. Oh. You go.
Oh, go ahead.
I already talked earlier. You can go.
Oh, okay. Well, I would just wanted to add some flavor that Velvet was having kind of a time getting up there. But manages to get up there by rolling the ball of yarn off a rock, kind of like I don't know, like this is some escape perk thing. Just kind of flies off the edge of a rock and just kind of lands.
Aw, it's like a delightful little circus trick. You love to see it. You love to have it described.
Beloved. But yeah, I'm guessing the bird doesn't move any more from the tree after we get there.
It stays perfectly still and waits for you.
If no one else is gonna say anything, Ellie might startup. Hi, Mr. Bird. Did you hire us?
You have not been hired yet. You still need to speak to those at the desk. Please approach the bird and stand by. Thank you.
Paperwork.
Oh boy, I didn't know there was going to be a process involved.
He's in trouble. What do you expect?
Paperwork,
If I
just
run
the
fast
thing
enough,
I
I
like
won't
to do. Why I entered college.
You're a maniac.
What the hell's
At
college?
Opportunity Labs, we love maniacs. Please approach the bird and stand next to the bird. Thank you. It appears to just run at a base set of vocal commands, so it is just repeating itself until you stand next to it.
Well, Emily's gonna stand next to it then.
Velvet's gonna stand next to it, but like give it side eye.
Why wouldn't I listen to the strange bird? Sure.
Yep. The twins have moved next to the bird. Ellie looks very put out. Layla's expression has not changed.
Wonderful. Is everybody ready?
I think so.
Ready as we'll ever be.
Yes,
No,
sirree!
And it just says that in a sing-song voice. Before the floor opens up under you and you start to fall.
Emily surprisingly looks unfazed by this. She has dealt with this bullshit before, just with under a different sign.
You will deal with this bullshit again as you start falling down a long, overly complicated set of slides, and you watch as your only exit seals above you.
Oh,
These
shit, here we
slides
go
bend
again.
here and there, to and fro. They basically tie themselves in knots. It's a very animated science fiction procedure, which stops looking organic after a while and starts looking completely automatized, of polished steel and fine chrome, which just has seams that your butt barely catches every time you skid past it, leading to an unfortunate itch to those who are wearing shorts.
At some point, Velvet falls off the yarn ball, and it's just like a Looney Tunes, like end over end, like holding on to the yarn ball as it goes through.
I'm imagining, like, it alternates between just running from the yarn ball, being tangled in the yarn ball, running back on top of the yarn ball, and then getting caught in it again and getting run over by the yarn ball. It just goes on.
There's at least one Indiana Jones inspired sequence.
At one point, your slide has a much bigger yarn ball coming. You don't know where it came from, but it leaves just as quickly.
You just hear Velvet scream, "Oh, come on!"
And eventually, as you head down, the walls become transparent like glass, and you can see countless other slides, where countless other things are moving to and from. Some look like perfectly ordinary toons, others look like perfectly ordinary, shapely, stylized robots. I realized I use shapely. That is probably the weird word to use. I mean, like, shapes. Just shapes. Geometric shapes. They are just shapes. Please do not imagine
Very
curvy
shape.
robots. I am begging you, don't imagine robots that are curvy. Please don't.
I'm sorry, it's too late.
Shapes
Just
are
imagining, like,
shapely.
ducks and fishnets or something.
But eventually, the walls become opaque again, and you all land in what appear to be a set of multicolored cushions, which appears to be what's set in almost a playpen style area, or rather, not so much a playpen as you know those acrobatics areas in the gymnasiums like the YMCA where there's all the padded flooring and the various gear, that kind of thing. It's padded like that.
Yeah.
Emily falls straight on her face.
Foam pit.
Somehow your glasses remain miraculously on and don't crack with this process.
Ellie sits up and immediately, let's do that again!
Certainly not, I don't want to get motion sick.
You actually hear for a split second a voice from one of the slides say, "Would you like to repeat the slide? YN."
No.
Why?
Yeah.
Yes, let's repeat the slide.
The end came
opens her.
first. The end came first, so the voice turns off.
I was gonna say Ellie immediately opened her mouth
Oh,
and Layla
darn.
slapped her hand in front over the top of it.
You're no fun.
Oh, but as you sit there recovering, and Emily, as you tell off the bot, you get a better scope of the room you're in. This is a 20 by 20 foot square room that, as I mentioned before, is padded along the floor with a series of mats and cushions, much like the YMCA would be in the acrobatics area, and is made perfectly safe for any landings from the slides, though you do note along the right and left walls there are perfectly normal elevators that could have been used, and you just did not, somehow.
You've got to be kidding me.
And across from you, on the right-hand side of a pair of large chrome sliding doors, appears to be a very stylish, think Jetsons kind of stylish, stylized desk, which hovers slightly above the ground, along with a very stylized robot made mostly of circles, and I mean literally just 2 to 3 circles total, that is just sitting there, floating, absently writing something down. It looks up to you, and its eyes are just as round. And though they have the same pie cut as a toon should, it's the whole thing of the mechanical eyes that you're not sure whether to take it as cute or creepy, as they light up, and you can see that eternal smile plastered on that face. As it then says, "Welcome. Please approach the desk to begin the enlistment process."
Alright, Emily gets up, dusts herself off, and heads to the desk.
I hate processes. He is trudging along as well, though.
Everyone hates processes, but processes are necessary to exist. If you didn't allow any processes to happen, your body would shut down and die if you were organic.
Velvet's just like him.
Gross.
Ellie is grumbling to herself. Layla has started towards the desk, but before Ellie follows, she is gonna hold out a hand to Velvet. Do you need a lift?
Oh, that would be really helpful, thank you. And Velvet kind of leaves the yarn where it is and just kind of like hops up onto the hand.
Yep. Yeah, Ellie's holding them very, very gently, and will walk over to the desk and then like lower her hands to the surface so that Velvet can stand on top of the desk.
Much obliged, thank you.
Velvet, as you land on top of the desk, you can actually see how it works from this side, as there's a sort of 4 to 5 inch divider that kind of sits on the front end of the desk that keeps others from looking at the quote-unquote paperwork, which you notice are a bunch of sliding screens with slight steel corner frames, very science fiction looking rather than actual papers, which are casually generated from the robot's hands and slid to the side before they levitate up and toward the others, complete with a levitating triangular pin. As they do float up to each of you, you find that they are perfectly numbered. There's one for each of you, and there is one for each of the twins. You do not get to both sign. You both get to sign one individually. There's one for Teacup, there's one for Lucy, there's one for Emily, and there's one for everybody, including Velvet, which, you note, is indeed sized perfectly for you. As the robot then says, "By signing this waiver, you agree that Dr. Opportunity, Opportunity Labs, and any and all affiliates of Dr. Opportunity and Opportunity Labs are not responsible for any lives, limbs, minds, bodies, or souls lost in the process of science." And you also agree not to take anything with you unless it is officially signed over by Dr. Opportunity himself. We've had a few breaches of security. It's only a matter of necessity.
Wait, this is I did miss one part. This is a readable thing, right?
It is readable, but the text is fucking tiny. It is so tiny. There is so much on the screen.
Okay, can I roll
you were-
an investigation check or something to try?
Yes,
You
please.
know what? Sure. Roll investigation. This is essentially the terms and conditions.
16, what does that get me?
Can I do that too?
You sure can.
That was for Layla. Ellie's not even bothering. Her eyes are glazing over
I'm
as
not
soon as she
bothering either.
sees it.
Yeah, Teacup's not bothering either. I don't. He keeps like reading the same paragraph over and over and over, and it's not working.
Velvet's so thrown that the thing is sized to her size that she just signs. It's just like, oh, cool, alright, yeah. They're accommodating.
Okay, so while you did manage to beat a 15, that is not enough to get all of the text on there, but you note that these are A, very thorough, and B, very specific. These are waivers that are very well written to bypass most legal liability in the name of accidents, though it does mention, of course, the full medical insurance, health insurance, life insurance, funeral insurance, free cremations. What was that about cremations? Don't worry about it. And even if you manage to complete enough experiments, or you happen to die in an epic enough experiment, you manage to get a sculpture in the name of science. That is what it says in very, 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 very fine print, which it still mentions Dr. Opportunity and Opportunity Labs is not responsible for. You're also able to sign yourself up for a free reincarnation. One free reincarnation. If you manage to sign a second place, which it signs over something else. You're not sure what it signs over. It just signs something. But you don't have to sign that area. It doesn't look like it's required. It doesn't have the big red X next to it.
Well, Emily's just gonna sign.
Do you sign the necessary place or both places?
Wait, what's the other place again?
You don't know. You did not beat a 20.
She'll only sign for the thing that she can actually read.
Understandable. Everybody else?
Layla has looked over at Ellie as this, are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Fine. And they'll both sign, but not the blank section.
Lucy does sign even though he doesn't understand what any of it means. Even though he is normally pretty smart about this, he will sign both things even though he is good.
Wonderful. Please remember to write down that you signed in both empty spaces if you did. Velvet and Teacup, did you also sign in both empty spaces or just the necessary one?
Velvet signed in both? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Teacup is drawing smiley faces all over his legal document because he is a minor and this is not legally binding, and he knows this only because Matcha told him.
Beloved.
Roll me a perception check as the paper starts to move under your pen. That is a perception check, by the way, Teacup.
That's surprising.
Nice.
You're caught up in your doodles, but you notice that the paper actually moves so that your doodles sign the area that is necessary and takes that as a signature.
Darn. Clever robot shit.
And just as everything is signed, it eventually flies out of your hands, pen included, and flies right back into the stack, where it decompresses and disappears into the robot's hands again. You're not sure where those pens and papers come from. They look like thin screens, but they don't even look like physical screens. You're not sure. You're not sure. It's weird science fiction mumbo jumbo. You just ignore it. And the sliding doors next to it open. Welcome to Opportunity Labs. Please make your way up the central staircase.
On we go.
I just want to know, Velvet signed both, but also Velvet just kind of wrote her name all over it, so it just says Velvet all over the contract. So it's kind of by like serendipity that it ended up in both places.
Delightful. The next room you happen to go into is a circular room and is a much larger room by means of 40 by 40 feet rather than 20 by 20 feet. It has a number of different stairways symmetrically going left and right, though still retaining the curve of the room, and you can actually see countless other circular doorways where other robots of symmetrical shapes and sizes, and geometric shapes and sizes, ranging from tiny, like you, Velvet, even to size large, end up going through doors that are sized just for them, or doors that they can at least fit through, all carrying various manners of tools, devices, and what have yous and what's-its. All of them bear similar color palettes, save for those that look like they're going back where you came from toward those weird elevators, which bear matching but different color palettes. Two of them appear to be in coastal paint, another one appears to be in deep blues like the ocean, but most of the robots seem to bear the same red, gold, black, and white color palette, usually with a cape attached, or painted on. And right in the middle is a spiral staircase going straight down.
Can I slide down the railing?
I was gonna ask the same thing.
Yep. Early too.
I'm suddenly regretting not adding Featherfall to prepared spells today.
Look,
Those
that
that
stops him. Teacup is rushing.
listen, if you take the rail down, you go a lot faster than everyone else, so you just start speeding down at God knows what speed. But you're gonna need to roll con saves because it spins very quickly.
Yep. Okay, I can do
Okay.
that.
Okay, so the good news is, for those of you that did manage to take the railing and slide down, or roll down in the case of Velvet and the yarn ball, you thankfully managed to retain your stomachs, though you are still significantly dizzied by the time you finally get to the bottom. Emily, you just walk down the stairs.
She sure does, because she's boring.
You just walk down the stairs, but since you walked, you are not dizzy. Lucy, do you walk down the stairs or try to take the rail?
He's also just walked down the stairs. He is not risking losing his lunch.
Layla is also walking down the stairs. It was only Ellie that took the rail.
So they just see these other toons go like fling past on the railing.
Aww. And to the twin that didn't take the railing and just walked down, you only get a vague sense of dizziness from your twin. But aside from that, you can at least still walk in a straight line. Your twin and everybody who took the railing, on the other hand, while thankfully you are not sick, you're still a little dizzy because you went down way too quick for those curves. But you also landed more cushions as you walk down to what looks to be a mixture of a large playground and a workshop. This one actually looks more like a playpen than the slide area. There's a number of different constructs and facilities here that are basically meant to be explored or tested out. From a cage to monkey bars to whole just entire playground buildings, which look overly complicated but brightly painted and perfectly suitable for young children. And toward the very end, you can see a number of different work tables, all of which are protected by what appear to be thick sheets of glass and paneled with more decorative-looking wood along the sides. But in the middle, at least from this distance, and this room is actually 60 feet by 60 feet, so this is the largest room you're in so far, you can actually see what looks to be a familiar shape. But for those of you that are perhaps unfamiliar, would everybody politely roll a history check to see how well you know Dr. Opportunity?
Oh, okay.
Cool. God, I love the dichotomy of my twins.
Also, should I roll, but permission to roll with advantage due to connections?
Permission granted.
Nice. Oh no, it's a 4. Okay, let's see. History,
point, no
history,
shit.
plus 5. Nope. Ooh, that's a 19.
Okay, so for those that did not beat a 10, you do not recognize this man in the slightest. You don't even recognize the sound of his voice as he is meticulously working over what appears to be another small model of stylishly geometric robot. For those of you that at least beat a 10, you can recognize the shape, and at least from this distance the size, as Dr. Opportunity. The rather rotund, mostly basketball-shaped, but also mostly leg scientist who's usually seen on television screens or heard on radios advertising his latest toys and models, be it for, of course, the enterprising children who wish to play with them, or devices for their parents to use in their kitchens and homes. And for those of you that beat a 15, or at least met or beat a 15, you also recognize that this is the size that Dr. Opportunity would normally look on screen, but he is also 60 feet away from you. Which is unusual.
Actually, I do have a question. Just like generally, would Emily have actually met Dr. Opportunity before this? Because for reasons.
Roll me another history check. No advantage.
Fuck.
No.
Alright. Neat.
Oh.
But as everybody gets down and looks around this lovely testing area, which even looks to include what appear to be brightly colored plush target dummies, the figure looks up, and give me a moment to straighten my posture so I can properly describe Dr. Opportunity. Give me a moment to take a sip of tea. Dr. Opportunity looks to be what one would consider the epitome of a stylized toon. His body is perfectly round, as is his head, which you can really only see half of, as his head is a half circle on top of his perfectly circular body, who appears to be wearing a bright red coat and deep black pants with white buttons, which blend seamlessly into his tall black boots, a small yellow capelet in stylized triangular shapes over his neck and shoulders and over his back, and the long sleeves of the red coat seem to kind of cuff off with only the slightest yellow trim, which you probably wouldn't be able to notice from a distance, and toony white gloves. He has small blue round goggles on, which he pulls up to reveal small blue round glasses underneath, has a perfectly triangular pinkish looking nose, and a broad, fuzzy, bright red looking mustache.
Oh
And
my God,
as he
I know who
notices
this
you,
is.
you see his smile.
I
brighten.
just realized.
Ah, there you are! Enterprising newcomers, welcome! Give me just a moment to get away from my work here. Just a moment. And he pulls back down the goggles and continues what appears to be welding a panel in. Once he finishes welding it shut, he snaps it in, and you notice the robot kind of strains itself up like it was sitting there waiting for him to work on it. It kind of tests its back out, and there's some silent communication between the two. It tests some other angles, he gives it some gestures. But eventually he nudges the bot aside, and the bot happily just floats on off to sit on a shelf that you notice has 3 letters emblazoned on it in bright gold. W-I-P. He then stands up and leaves his little workstation. The doors slide open for him and seal shut behind him. And as he stands up from his desk, you realize he is not nearly as normally sized as his screen would depict. As he approaches, you realize he's not actually medium at all. He's not short, he's not medium. He's not the size of a regular human in the slightest. As he approaches, and you see him at his full 14-foot 5-inch height. He is size large, not medium, and it shows.
And Emily just has a surprised blink of, oh, she was not expecting him to be that tall.
And most of his height is leg.
He's old leg.
I wanna whisper to Emily, is it rude to ask to climb someone?
I mean, probably.
Allow me to roll him a perception check real quick.
I think Ellie's gonna respond. I thought TV was supposed to make you look bigger, not smaller.
Thankfully, he rolled a nat 1, so he heard nothing of what you were saying. As he approaches, and you notice his smile has barely changed. He still looks like a perfectly ordinary toon. He's got the soft-looking skin and everything, and he's, of course, perfectly bald, but he's also just 14 feet tall, which is just interesting to take it up close. And as he approaches, I'll say... Oh, yeah?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying that Velvet, tries to look at him, but falls off the yarn, trying to, crane her neck back far enough.
Aww. And I'll actually say, Petals, roll me a perception check, because you are used to working around this kind of thing.
Cool. Alright, perception. Yeah, plus 3. 20. Dirty 20.
With the dirty 20, once he approaches, you can kind of hear a subtle, low hum as he appears to subtly scan the entirety of the party as he's looking it over. You're used to hearing that from robots, though. But as he finishes looking the party over, he claps his hands together, which makes a surprisingly soft sound, considering he is very big. Those gloves must be very, very soft. It's wonderful to see such a variety of toons into my lab. It's wonderful to meet all of you. I am Dr. Opportunity, esteemed inventor and toy maker for Inkwell, and head of Opportunity Labs, and founder of the Golden Opportunity Project. And he poses as he says that, just where his cape actually flutters on command behind him before it stops. He then glances down and asks, might I ask your individual names, please? Going from left to right, we'll start with, and he points to... I'm actually going to roll a perception for you, Petals, because, reasons.
Wait, me roll perception or you roll perception? I misheard a little. Okay, you roll perception, okay.
Miss Burnout! I hadn't expected to run into you. What brings you to the laboratory?
I needed some extra cash for some personal projects.
Is Kelly not paying you enough? Be honest. And he leans in close when he says that, which doesn't take much considering he just has to kind of bend forward at a 90-degree angle.
She's paying me enough, but not enough for... I mean, science is pretty expensive, you should know.
I understand very well. It's good to see you regardless. And next up, he actually does have to bend at a perfectly 90-degree angle to see you, Velvet, because you are a tiny. But, and
Yeah.
your name would be?
Velvet, pardon me, but you're very large. Didn't expect that. Sorry.
It's the power of perspective, my dear. It's the power of perspective.
Well, I mean, you are also 14 feet taller than me, but I get what you mean.
It is a television illusion. But I assure you, I am very careful with my size, so you don't have to worry about any dangers moving around my feet. And then he turns toward the twins.
Ellie has stars in her eyes. Hi, I'm Ellie. This is Layla. It's so cool to meet you. I love your toys. I'm so excited to be here. Oh, what are we testing? I want to know. I want to see what you've got. I want to see everything.
You'll see it with time, I promise. Young Ellie and Layla, I promise. And turns toward you, and I'm actually also going to roll a perception check for you, Tika. And he glances to you, and Tika, would you roll me a perception check?
Oh boy.
You don't
Nice.
notice any change in his behavior whatsoever. The only thing you notice he pauses for a moment, and you think his head tilts, but considering his head is a half circle on his body, you're not sure how the tilting works. But the smile does not fade in the slightest, and he asks, "And you, young lad, who might you be?"
Oh boy, I'm jazzed to meet you. My name's Teacup. Sometimes I get called Ty. That's fine. Whatever. Hi. What are we doing?
We will be testing my latest line of toys today, is what we'll be doing.
Yes. I thought so.
I will say this is quite the wide variety. I'm not used to seeing so many colorful characters. Is it too invasive to ask where you're all coming from? Aside from you, Emily. I know where you're coming from, obviously. I did miss Lucy, that was a mistake. We could say he was kind of jostled a little by seeing Teacup, but he does turn to Lucy.
I am Lucy, sir. I am very glad to be here. And I do enjoy your interventions very much. I do believe I have one of your mixers in my dorm room, actually.
Ah, which number of model? If you happen to sign on for my intern program, I'm able to upgrade that to the latest model, free of charge.
I'm not sure. I do not remember. I'll have to check the packaging.
You'll have to tell me when you get the time, then. Still, it's wonderful to meet you all. Might I ask where you're all coming from that you found the ads? It is quite a colorful cast I've seen.
I just saw an ad posted in the tavern somewhere. Did kind of have to cast catapult on myself to read it, but seems like a good opportunity.
EGAD.
EGAD, you say? It's been a while. I don't believe I've spoken with Mr. Thomas in some time. Did he send you?
No, it was on the bulletin board.
Ah. You think there's a moment he looks slightly dinged that Ollie did not in fact send you, but this barely even makes a dent in his positive face. Oh god, the dramatic recreation, Bobbins, that's adorable.
Listen, she just kind of cast catapult to get around.
Amazing. And Lucy, where did you happen to find the ad?
Oh, I found it right on the bulletin board as well in the EGAD Headquarters. I go there frequently to help with extracurricular activities for my college.
And then he turns to you, Teacup.
Oh, that's a long story. I just, someone drops a poster, you pick it up, you get lost, lose your brother on purpose.
Do you need help finding your family?
Absolutely not. I lost him on purpose. I'll find him again. I know where he is.
I'm sorry, I have to push because I'm dying above board.
I brought this up in like a minute. Don't ask me any more questions.
No, it's perfect. I love Teacup. Oh my god.
Matcha's probably stuck like in a library somewhere researching some dumb topic.
Matcha's figuring out where they're going next. Meanwhile, Teacup was just like, "Ooh, this is not too far from us," and just runs off. Oh, but upon processing all of this, he seems assured of something at least. Well, I'm glad my advertisements are making it out. I haven't really been seeing too many other toons as of late, so I wasn't certain if my advertisements for open positions were being received or if they possibly just weren't getting out at all. Of course, I triple-checked the courier bots. They should have been snapping them up every which way they could. But you never know with robots or with fate. Anyway, follow me. We'll head to the testing range. And he turns and starts walking off. And you think if it wasn't for the fact the floor is cushioned flawlessly, he would not have light boot steps. They are very stylish in flat boots, but you do not think those would be light boots. It also doesn't take him that many steps to actually get across the room, because he is size large compared to the rest of you and is like 75% leg.
Big steppy.
Big steppy.
Steppy.
But yeah, Emily will follow along.
Yeah, no. Ellie is pulling Layla along again. Almost immediately upon this way. Yep, she is very excited.
As Dr. Opportunity walks along, he heads towards another pair of sliding doors on the right-hand side of the room, which slide open for him and are, of course, more than perfectly sized for the rest of you. As you reveal what is a 40-foot by 40-foot testing range, it still looks to appear to have padded walls, but it doesn't have the padded floor anymore, as it transitions from the cushioned playpen kind of padding to the sort of, metallic tile you would expect, though these are also painted in a checkerboard pattern to suit the style of the rest of the place. And his bootsteps transition from soft and cushioned to flat and metallic as he crosses the room, and you notice across the area the room is 40 by 40, but at the 20-foot point, 20 and also 30-foot point, closer to you, not farther from, are two different glass panels, each with different holes marked in them, and a few buttons along the sides on the left of the first and the right of the second, which appear to have different words and commands written across from them for ease of access. At the other end of the room, you notice a plethora of the similar stuffed dummies from the playpen, but also some metallic ones as well, which look a lot more official and professional than the stuffed ones would. In front of the very first glass panel is a long counter table, which is still stylishly curved like the rest of the Jetsons-esque place. And sitting atop it, you can see some brightly colored red, blue, green, and yellow laser pistols and laser rifles. Or what look to be styled after laser pistols and laser rifles, but they're still very much stylized as not used to push to talk. I kept on typing V instead. Rip. What appears to just be a collective of toy guns styled in the manner of laser pistols and laser rifles. It has the same teardrop shape, it has the rings around it, it has a little ball at the end, and it of course has Dr. Opportunity's grinning face plastered on the sides. This will be our first test. Please approach the counter and examine the toys at your leisure.
You know Teacup snatching one up immediately.
Would it be alright to ask if we could take a short break?
Could you repeat what you said? Your mic made you sound very quiet.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask if we could take maybe like a quick 5-minute break or something.
Oh, sure. We can take a 5-minute break.
Sweet, thank you.
No problem. Ike, would you do me a favor since you're listening and bring me up that list of advertisements to read during the 5-minute break? I know the Draft House had the advertisements list.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is delightful.
Also, quick question, I guess, while we're on this break, because description brain die a little, but are the gun-looking things the toys or the things on the other side of the counter?
The gun-looking things are the toys.
Okay, damn, they really just gave this entire party just guns to play with.
They will be described after the ad break. I'm trying to find the ads myself, too.
Yeah.
So, like, here, have a gun.
Yeah. Layla's first thought, are you sure these are for kids?
I feel I should mention
yeah.
they do look very obviously like toys. It's just a matter of their style. They're styled after the science fiction little laser pistols and laser rifles you'd find in like Warner Brothers Looney Tunes kind of thing. The Jetson style, you know.
Oh, by the way, and in advance, just asking to make sure you guys are okay with it. Are you all right with soundboard stuff like sound effects? Because I do have that, and I want to make sure you guys are good with it before. Yeah. Like in case if I want to use any, and making sure you guys are good with sound effects beforehand.
I'm good, but you might want to ask the others when they get back.
Yeah. And Hoosh mentions having some trouble with
I'll
noises. Hoosh mentions having some trouble with noises because of mid-game, but...
Okay. I will not use them. I will make my own sound effects. I guess that means I'll have to save the sensor bar for a different game.
God, I am really sad. I'm trying to look and I can't find that little advertisement spreadsheet that they had in the draft house. I want to read an ad in Opportunity's voice.
Yeah. Improv ad.
I mean,
yeah, actually, I think I might. Here, actually, I think I might also BRB while the break's going. Might as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I do need to turn on some lights.
Go make myself a cup of tea.
Go right on ahead.
I forgot about push to talk. Hi.
I forgot about push to talk sometimes too. And sometimes I'll just start saying something and just like, oh wait, great, I forgot.
Yeah, I'll just talk and then I go, oh wait, why am I not oh the button, press the button.
And I also don't like interrupting people, even though I do want to talk more. I always have a thing to where I need to put people before me. And it's just like,
you're doing great. You're doing great, honest. I think
you're both doing great. You're both doing great.
I really like Lucy. Like a lot.
Oh, thank you. He's my dumb amphibian and I love him. I've had him for like 6 or 7 years now.
Oh, really? That's cool. I really like him. I like his design. I like him.
I like his design. I love Teacup's complete, just childlike innocence with these toys. I love it to pieces. Also, your voice for Teacup is fantastic, by the way. I just want to give you a little inspiration with that. And that still works.
Yelling.
It still works.
Literally all I was doing was just shouting. I should not do that since it's getting a little bit later and people are in my house are trying to wind down. So this is a bad idea, but it's fun.
Honestly, since sometimes it's just nerve-wracking to be a part of the game so suddenly, I was just ready to pull anything out of my butt at any moment.
You're incredibly valid, but you're doing great, even with it being on the spot. You really are doing great. I also hope the session is starting off okay. I hope I'm doing okay as a DM so far.
You're doing great. You're doing just fine. I'm just worried about my performance.
Oh no, whoosh.
Whoosh, your performance has been great. I love the nervous college kid vibe. I love it to fucking pieces. It's just that I am used to DMing. I've been DMing for at least, almost 2 years now, I think. But
you are a really fun DM.
Oh, thank you. But I'm also used to DMing for. It's usually split between players that talk and players that type. So I am used to either the majority types and only a few talk, or the majority talk but only a few type. So of course I have to give time between those that type and those that talk. And I'm also used to a variety of different play styles, like those who want to just get in the gameplay, those who want to role play a bunch, which is why I gave you guys the opportunity for opportunity. The opportunity for the introductions and character interaction before the bird actually got there. Because it is fun to get your characters to interact and develop with other people.
Roleplay is actually very fun for me, and I normally like to do a lot of writing stuff on the side, but talking roleplay is just as fun. I just don't like asking for it.
Hi, Ollie. Welcome back.
Hey, can you guys hear
Howdy.
me?
We
Yeah,
can
I
hear
can
you
hear you.
just fine.
Oh, sorry about that, and thanks for being cool with the break.
It,
Oh, no,
it's
you're
okay.
fine.
It's okay. We all deal with it. Sometimes Discord and microphones are just butts.
It had been over an hour as well, so, you know, time for a break.
I needed a break as well, honestly.
I am used to DMing for just hours straight, so you guys take all the breaks you like. Me, I'm just sitting here vibrating in my chair waiting.
Same. I'm normally used to talking for like 20 hours at a time, but ever since I got that stupid sickness, it's been down to like 5 hours at a time.
Aw.
I gently pat you on the back.
I've got fibro, and sometimes it's just like I need to duck away for something or just for a break for a second, and then I can go back to it. But I can't do like mega D&D sections like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Are we ready to get back into it? Or do we still need some time to do some other things like the bathroom or anything like that?
I'm gonna slurp some water, and then I'm ready to go.
I'm
I
good.
got more tea.
I'm good. Thank you, though.
Alright, let me take a sip of tea because admittedly doing the Eggman OVA voice is, oh boy.
As soon as
Not
I realized
bad,
who
not
it was, I was just like, oh my god.
Forgot about push to talk. Again.
Oh
I
no!
said hi, Petals. I said hi.
Hello, bestie.
Hello, bestie.
It's perfectly fine. I have my sip of tea. I'm a little sad I could not find some 1930s ad script or something to read while everybody was gone, but it's fine. I can, in the future sessions, I can just write advertisements for Dr. Opportunities games. I could just write them. More fun that way.
Nice. Promote
But,
Dr.
is-
Opportunities stuff.
Big teams.
Sorry.
But is everybody ready to go?
Aye.
I am.
All right.
I'm good.
You are all here to examine these, again, I will iterate, still very much toy-looking laser pistol laser rifles that still have Dr. Opportunity's lovely smiling face brand on the sides.
And Emily's gonna pick up one of the toy guns and just kind of inspect
They are
it.
toy guns. And Velvet, you actually note that though most of these are for size medium and larger, you note that there is a much smaller counter lower than the medium-sized counter where there are actually small and tiny size laser pistol laser rifle toys.
It's just like, oh, huh, okay. Feeling pretty welcome here. Awesome, alright. And then just goes for the gun.
Let me go back up to DMs real quick so I have the little blurb for these things.
Oh, we're recording again, right?
Yeah, I didn't.
We are
pause
recording
the
again, yes.
recording.
I don't think I stopped recording. It's been recording this whole time.
Wonderful.
Oh, sweet.
Wonderful. But,
Recording always has been.
He essentially picks one of them up, and it looks smaller in his hands than it does in yours, but somehow still fits his rather plush gloves. As he says, "These are Dr. Opportunities, yours truly, TM, laser tag, laser pistols, and laser rifles. These are recreations of laser pistols and laser rifles from my own personal line, made specifically for laser tag." And he actually, on cue, points one, and he points it over the glass wall because he is tall enough to hit over the glass wall, toward one of the dummies, and is actually going to fire. So give me a minute to actually roll a specific dice and then an attack roll. Kind of.
quote-unquote attack roll.
The stars are back in Ellie's eyes. She might start vibrating through the floor soon.
I do need to flip a coin as he fires this, though. So roll D2. And on a... Okay, so that's heads, so it fires off normally. So let me pull up the statistics for a laser pistol, which is actually the thing he picked up. Okay, so that is 1d20 plus dexterity plus proficiency because he is proficient with laser pistols. And a 16 will indeed hit. Now, statistically, the way these work is upon you roll to hit as would be traditional with a laser pistol or laser rifle, which in this case would be a dexterity-based weapon roll. These are not strength weapons. These are essentially you using like long-range weapons like bows or guns. But upon hitting, the target actually needs to make a save because these are not meant to be actual laser pistols, but they're meant to have charges of fairy fire, which Dr. Opportunity will explain shortly. So they need to make a save based on fairy fire. Which, if the spellbook is correct here, is a dexterity saving throw. So, dexterity saving throw. Let me pull up the... let me just pull up... Honestly, browser history looping would probably be funnier. But while it hits, it actually kind of seems to... the target actually saves against the fairy fire, so it doesn't actually light up. Though it registers the hit, it doesn't look damaged in the slightest, but for a brief moment, flickers a bright yellow color before it goes completely back to normal. Dr. Opportunity clicks his tongue just with a... and pulls the pistol back, but aside from that, glances down to the rest of you with a bright smile. Would you like me to explain how this works?
That would be nice.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to give you the simple version because if I give you the complicated version, we'll be here for 3 hours, and I don't think you need that. These laser pistols are built for laser tag. They're not meant to actually be of any harm to anybody, especially the children or teenagers using them. As such, they have their own charges of fairy fire conducted specifically to their batteries. These are battery powered. They do come with charges. If you want to buy charges later, you can just ask. So, upon hitting a target, and he's going to actually try and hit another one to actually get the intended effect to go off. Bad news is, the second time he fires it is, Well, also bad news, that was a nat 20. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Well, instead of 3d6 radiant, that is 66 radiant damage.
That's a lot of damage. Oh gosh.
There is a bright yellow light as he fires this off, but there's unfortunately a spark in the pistol, which he notices a second too late. As the laser pistol fires, and this looks like a more, one wouldn't argue solid kind of light, but it looks a little bit more like an actual blaster fire, like a stormtrooper or something, or, you know, like a cartoon laser pistol, that actually hits the metal target and actually scorches the chest pretty decently, at which his smile kind of dulls for a moment. Oh, right. The thing we were testing.
Whoa!
He kind of sets that pistol aside, and he actually sets it on his side with an X over it. No, it's not safe. It's not safe. That's kind
It's
of
cool though.
Like,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Well, it's just pointing at it, being like the busted one. Can I have it?
Well, I mean, we'll discuss that later. But see, these are intended to just light targets up the same color as the team you selected. I, for example, have picked up a yellow team blaster, which you can set the colors on these, by the way, by means of this dial in the back. And he actually kind of spins a rather plastic-looking dial, and it changes the color like a rainbow for a moment before settling back on yellow. But I have this set on yellow by default. It's meant to enact fairy fire and make the target light up so you know they've been hit and laser tag, but well, clearly not all of them are up to snuff, because I'm hoping to test these in hopes of not harming any children. But if they happen to accidentally fire as a weapon should, then that's definitely painful if somebody should get hit. So I was hoping you would be able to test it and get the working toys onto the floor. There are 2 phases to this first part of the test, and I say first part. The first part is, I would like all of you to pick up your choice, a pistol or a rifle. You're going to be testing each one by one, but just pick up one to start. Any of you.
Lucy definitely grabs a rifle. He feels more comfortable with that in his hands rather than a pistol.
Emily will grab a pistol.
Ellie's going for a pistol. Layla's going for a rifle.
Velvet's going for a rifle.
And
It
Tika?
looks comical.
A pistol.
All right. So all of you have a weapon picked up, and these are going to add your dexterity modifiers, but you will not add proficiency if you are not proficient with firearms. So
Emily is proficient.
if you are proficient with it, you will add proficiency plus your dexterity modifier. However, if you're not proficient, you will just add your base dexterity modifier to the attack roll. Now, approach the glass divider, if you please, and please aim for the open sections. Don't hit the glass. I am begging you, don't hit the glass. And once everybody is positioned and ready, the dummies, the ones on the bottom move in a very simplistic fashion, moving from left to right in very simple running animations, while they're still kind of suspended to the floor with poles. So they really do look like the carnival kind of rides, the carnival kind of games that you would try to hit like a duck or something. But they start slowly running back and forth as you approach the counter and, aim your weapons through the appropriate holes. And if you would do me a favor and try and hit a single target. And with that, we're going to actually have roll initiative so that we can actually have an order for the attacks. So roll d20s in initiative.
Okay.
Nat 20, let's go.
Emily is so excited to shoot these things.
Look, she can have a little violence today as a treat.
Good boy! And I'll say the twins will move on this. I was going to say the twins can move on the same initiative, but if
Fair
you roll
enough.
individually, that's fine.
I mean, I can just have them go on the same turn. I don't mind.
It is easier that way, yeah.
Yep.
But okay, so Kelly, roll to hit one of the dummies, and you can choose if you want to hit
Kelly,
a cloth
that's
dummy.
the wrong scientist.
I'm sorry, Emily, my mistake. I was thinking of your boss, my mistake. Emily, try to hit a target. You may choose between a cloth target or a metal target, whichever you believe would be more of a challenge for you to hit.
Emily's
Above
gonna
board,
go
the
after
metal
the
ones have
metal
higher
one.
AC.
Emily's gonna
All
go
right.
after the metal one. She's feeling confident.
She wants to show off. She's feeling smug.
She's feeling smug. Okay, so that's Dex plus proficiency, so it's a +4 total. 19.
19 will hit. Would you flip me a coin by rolling a d2, please?
Okay.
And thankfully this goes off normally. What color team did you pick up or set for your weapon?
Probably yellow.
It does not succeed the save. So, as you manage to go up toward one of the metal targets, which are moving without being stuck into the ground, or actually doing things like hopping or jumping or very basic movement animations, which are just a little more complicated than the stuffed ones, you actually manage to catch one of them in their armor-plated chest. And the whole thing lights up a bright lemon yellow. And you can see Dr. Opportunity's grin light up like neon white. Ooh, delightful! Lovely hit, Miss Brownout.
Emily's
so
just standing proud with actually a smile on her face for once, because she hasn't been smiling that much during this because she's, I know, a grump, but she seems proud of herself.
Next is Velvet. Velvet, would you like to try and hit a cloth target or a metal target?
Middle.
All right.
Let me double check the dex. Okay.
Now, in spite of the fact that I coin flipped twice for the doctor, you actually just have to do a coin flip once per weapon to see whether it actually works as intended or if it, is a weapon on accident. A 16 just hits. Just hits. Roll me a coin flip. That's a d2.
Okay. My keyboard would cooperate.
Yours goes off as intended. What color team did you pick up?
Were there particular colors available, or there was the color wheel?
There were 4 basic ones, but Dr. Opportunity showed you could change the colors with like a little toy dial.
Okay, I'm gonna say blue.
All right, let me roll a dex save. Just makes it so even though you swear you thought you hit that one, nope, your little blue light just instead hit a toy cloud in the background and turned to that yellow instead. Dang it!
Can I go in there and try to beat it then? Because I feel like I could really do it if I could just get in there and...
You're not getting in there yet, don't you worry. And next up in our initiative would be the twins!
We're going in name order.
Going in name order. That is a roll to hit and then a coin flip.
Alright, and I'm doing it for both of them, right?
You are doing it for both of them, though you get to choose what target they hit, whether it's one of the metal ones, which have higher AC, or one of the cloth ones.
Yeah, I think Ellie is going for one of the metal ones. I think Layla is going for one of the cloth ones.
All right, and what color teams did you pick or roll for?
Ellie would be orange. Layla has gone with purple.
Wonderful. Roll to hit, please, and it is plus dexterity. If you are not proficient with firearms, you do not add proficiency.
Yep, neither of them are proficient with firearms, so this will be interesting.
I mean, they're children. I hope they're not proficient with firearms.
True.
Teacup just pulls out a clock. Ooh. That Ellie's flies wide and ends up hitting part of the backdrop.
Fair enough. Oh, come on.
And Layla does indeed hit. Now, roll me a coin flip.
Okay.
Ooh, and I get to roll 3d6 radiant damage instead. which target was Layla hitting, the cloth or the metal?
Cloth.
You burn a hole through the cloth dummy.
Yeah, there's just a small... This one's broken. And she puts it down on the desk.
Yeah, just puts it down where there's a... You actually notice that the table that Dr. Opportunity put one in, which he gently guides you to with a very big plush hand, has a large red X over it. So that is likely the defect table.
Yep, it's going there.
Ooh, I love that color, by the way, Petals. It's one of my favorites. Good choice, good choice, good choice. You'll also note, Emily, that in spite of the fact that none of you are wearing goggles, it appears Dr. Opportunity has fine-tuned the lights in these so that they aren't actually blinding to the eyes. At least on firing the toys off.
Neat.
And Lucy, have you rolled yet for an attack on anything? I don't recall.
No, I have not.
No, you have not. Okay. Let's go ahead and get you out of the way. Pick a target and fire. Preferably one that isn't already lit up like a Roman candle or burned through.
Yeah, I was thinking of a cloth one because Lucy isn't as confident with his aim as some other people.
Alright, that'll be a roll to hit and then a coin flip. That'll miss. But you'll still
Coin flip.
A bright light of your choice flashes off, but it doesn't hit anything. You instead actually hit a little metal cutout star that's in the background. Back to the top of the turn order, we have... Oh, that's right. Velvet, did you roll to hit anything yet?
Teacup.
I did.
Teacup!
I didn't
Teacup!
yet,
I'm
though.
sorry. Teacup! Shoot something! I would pull up the announcer voice, but I don't have it on standby. But you're up! Ooh, a 15 will hit. It doesn't matter which target. That'll hit. Now roll me a coin flip.
Good, I was going for the harder one.
You hit one of the metal ones and actually land a serious radiant burn mark on it. This particular metal dummy appears to be made in the shape of something with horns and a pointy tail.
Teacup looks delighted.
But of course, Dr. Opportunity does notice, and he actually kind of just taps Teacup gently on the shoulder. That one will have to go in the reject pile, I'm afraid. Sorry, son.
Can't keep it?
We'll negotiate letting you keep a model later. That still needs to go in the defect pile. They're not supposed to do damage.
Ugh, fully. He's putting it away.
And as you test out which weapons do and don't work, the ones that do work, he actually coaxes you to set back on the counter, but to just a little to the left, not to the rejected area, so that you know they work. And those that don't, he coaxes you to put under the big red X. So pick up any other weapons you like, and back to the top of the turn order, Petals! Roll to shoot something.
Oh boy. Okay, so assuming they're using a different gun, but like...
If you used a pistol, you use a rifle in this instance. If you used a rifle, you use a pistol in this instance.
Alright, rifle time. I'm assuming this would still go under firearms. Actually, wait, why am I asking? Of course it's a firearm.
Of course it's a firearm. Excuse me.
Nat 20!
Christ, Emily!
She is surprisingly good at shooting things. She must have
And
played a
that
lot
is
of laser tag.
Delightful. Coin flip.
Alright.
And it goes off normally. Let me roll a dex save for, I assume you're going for another metal one just to show off.
Yep.
A 13 does not make it. This one turns a bright Scooby-Doo green, the same color you chose. This one appeared to be made in the shape of a walking sunflower, or at least a walking flower tomb with petals for limbs and a closed bud for a head.
Huh.
They look close to the shape of toons, but the lack of facial features on some leads to a slight uncanny look. They're still very cute, though.
Well, Emily
Next.
doesn't really have much of a reaction to this.
Next, we will have Velvet. Roll the hit.
Alrighty, so Velvet picks up the pistol this time. Still going for metal target, though.
That misses, but you still have to coin flip.
Okay.
Ooh, you end up scorching a hole, or not so much a hole as a mark, into the backdrop. Candle, twins are up.
Yep, this time I think they're both going for metal W's this time.
$12 will not hit, but a coin flip regardless.
Yep. I'm just gonna roll for Layla and then I'm gonna roll the coin flips. Nope, neither of those hit.
Neither of those hit. Let's see them coins. Ooh,
Oh,
they
good.
both make slightly sizable scorch marks in the background. Lucy, you're up.
Oh boy, let's see.
Going for a cloth or metal target?
Hopefully a metal target this time.
Ooh, you're close, but you miss. So let's see that coin flip. You managed to hit the face of one of the other ones, or where the face kind of would be, and you actually managed to burn the nose on that one. Teacup, you're up, Buttercup. Ooh, that is a wild miss, but let's see the coin flip. That fires
Darn.
off color as is expected, but misses widely. This testing goes on for at least a little bit longer until you've gone through the basic models that are on the counter. And from the coins that you guys flipped and the amount of toys that are on the counter, you garner that a good majority of the toys are fit to be sold. And Dr. Opportunity examines the ones that are still firing off as weapons and then examines the toys to see what the difference is, to see where he went wrong, respectively. And after examining them both, he nods and then turns to the rest of you. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for helping out with the first part of the laser tag toy test. We now go to part 2. And he actually is going to reach into his hammer space, so I need to roll a d10.
Fail. Oh, man.
And he pulls
Yeah, I was
up,
kind of gonna go.
he pulls up a square remote with a little red button, and he presses it. And both of the glass panels, as well as the counters, actually go down, with the toys that are functional being slid back out in front of you. The dummies end up snapping to the back of the room, kind of like the Snap It, Stick It toys. And you actually see the lighting of the room change a bit. We've now hit the laser tag segment. We're going to split you into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's an odd number. You can't really have a fair fight with odd numbers. I'll join you. 3 teams of 2. And he is going to pick up the yellow gun for himself, and I'm going to roll a d5 for who he assigns as his teammate. The twins do make it even. They do make it even. My mistake. He considered them a unit for a moment, so it's just like, yes, they move as one. Therefore, they are one.
Yeah, I
This
will
is how
say.
They are
of
one.
course.
I will say they are quietly having a little bit of an argument about whether or not it's fair for them both to be playing or not. Because even like on the same team or separate teams, that could be complicated. So yeah.
You go.
I think like Layla is insisting that she sit this one out, and Ellie is pouting a little bit, but also she really wants to play laser tag.
Delightful. Then I'll roll the d5 to see who Dr. Opportunity takes for his teammate. Ellie, of course. Emily. There are now 2 E names. My mistake. Emily. Emily's the one.
There are
that's
2
taken,
E
of
names
course.
that end with
The
Lee.
one that rolled both nat 20s. Of course, he claims that one. Science teammates. Dibs. Miss Brenna, you're on Team Yellow.
Communication.
You're on Team Yellow with me. And we are going to randomly assign the rest of you to teams of 2. And we're going to have ourselves a laser tag match. Okay, so that is 1 and 3, and that would be Velvet and Lucy. You are assigned to the second team, meaning that the remaining twin and Teacup are on the last team. I'm going to type that out in the roll zone so we have that on reference.
Yeah, but the cool one.
Yeah. Ellie is high-fiving Teacup. They're going down.
What team color do your teams select, by the way? Team Yellow is Emily and Opportunity.
So Emily's just like, thank goodness I have a competent teammate.
Teacup
Hey,
wants
Lucy,
green.
you okay with purple or green, or we could do orange, or
If Teacup wants green, Ellie will go with green.
Lucy isn't all that picky. He just wants to have fun for once.
well, has purple already been chosen? Because it's not purple.
Purple has not been chosen, so you will be Team
Purple
Purple. Let me
is
write you
good.
down.
Team perp.
Sorry, my voice command is V. That being said, we are now going to roll initiative properly because this is now officially combat. It's not proper combat. Essentially, as is the rules of laser tag, you have to get everybody else out and be the last team standing. So, now, seeing as these are still working on fairy fire spells charges and they still require saves, you still need to have them fail the save in order for them to actually, light up and then be counted as out. Which he does explain in a moment. Now, here's how this is going to work. And above board, if you have initiative, please write it down somewhere so that we can remember it. Thank you. As per the laser tag rules, we're going to see which team remains the last one standing. Your job is simple. Knock everyone else off the field. If you're hit and you light up, you're out. If you somehow don't light up, you're still considered in it, and the gun considers it a flux. That being said, if everybody would please move to your respective colored corners, and even though the room is it doesn't have the most corners to it, it does have color-coded sections for each team. So it does actually have one for yellow, green, and purple, which light up for the colors that you chose. There are even some of the little cushions in the floor that light up as sort of stepping stones so you could actually get over there. Now, I should mention this as a default rule. Do not fire these near the eyes. These can and still will blind you. I feel that should be obvious. Just do not fire it. You will not blind me because I do not have eyes. I have optics and they are protected. You cannot blind me in a way that matters. But still, do not fire it at the rest of you with eyes.
Also, Question.
Aye.
Are spells used on the self allowed? Or just
Are
non-harmful spells?
Are spells used on the self-allowed? That is an excellent question. Would the rest of you be in favor of spells being allowed for this? Or would you rather it just be dependent on the guns and your acrobatic skills?
No spells. The only spells I know are quite harmful.
The only spells I know are pain in a match like this.
Oh, if we were actually doing a training segment for combat, those would be allowed. But in this instance, we're testing these toys for fun, so no spells then. It'll just be you and your wits. And Miss
Ellie has
Fern
raised her hand, sorry.
Oh, yes?
Are shields allowed?
Are shields allowed? We're not allowing any other spells, so no.
Okay. I need to
But-
adjust. I need to make sure her armor class is reflective of that, so...
Oh, if you meant an actual physical shield, yes, that is allowed. But just not the spell.
Alright, yep, she's rolling her house face, she's gonna pull out her shield.
But again, just don't fire toward the eyes. You don't want to risk blinding anybody, and even though it will be temporary, that is still a potential lawsuit we wish to avoid. That being said, good luck, have fun! And he sprints toward his corner, and I'm gonna roll him initiative. Now I'm sad that we don't have any combat music. I would love just some playful sci-fi for this nonsense. Okay,
Yeah, I'll
he
find
gets
some combat
a
music for the
+1.
recording at the very least.
Alright, so when I name you off, please name your initiative count. Emily!
What?
Hey,
Initiative.
initiative.
I need your initiative number.
15.
Mike, I've made a list. I've already got them in order.
Oh, delightful. Could you paste that list to me so I have ease of access?
It's in the roll zone. It's also pinned.
Oh, delightful. Okay, so there's a sort of countdown as you could actually sort of see Dr. Opportunity lift his hand to his face and he gets kind of this announcer-esque quality to his voice. I do not have voice mod. Theater the mind. Just theater the mind it. Starting the match in 3, 2, 1. May the best team win! And Lucy, you're up first.
Give me a sec, I heard none of that. Give me a moment.
My mistake. I also did cover my mouth for that, so that was my mistake. Oops. Oopsie doodle. I was like, oh, I know how to do the announcer voice. You put your hand over your mouth and you make the big microphone noise. And failed to realize that the microphone might not catch that. Oops.
You
No,
came
no,
through
it
perfectly.
was terrible.
Yeah, you came through
Because
perfectly
it's
for
on
us.
their end.
Yeah, I think it's on ours
Hang on a
end.
moment. Hello?
Wait, can you hear
Oh,
us?
what? I can hear you. Give me just a moment. Oh, thank
okay.
you for the brownies? Okay. Sorry, my sister came in out of nowhere and dropped me off 3 brownies and also my cat. Hi, Sassy.
Goddamn, wish I had 3 brownies and a cat.
So I found the music. I found the music that works for this.
Delightful. Okay, I
Oh,
will say,
nice.
let me just reorient my space real quick.
Okay, I'm not turning on the battle music until the actual thing started.
Okay, welcome back. I now have brownies and my cat is here. Apparently she got scared in, which is fine.
Hi, Allie.
Hey, sorry, tablet went weird and then everything started crashing. So I just
Aw.
restarted.
Aw,
missed
I
being super
understand.
upset about it started. It was bad.
Anyway, let me try that again. Starting the match in 3, 2, 1. May the best team win! And we're going to start off with Whoosh. you are approximately 20 feet away from anyone else, and keep in mind all your weapons work at range, not in melee. Unless, of course, you're proficient in firearms or have the gunner feat.
I am not proficient, so just darn, I'm not used to combat at all.
You can do it. You can do it. Yes, we can. We're
Pat
Team
you so
Perp. We can
gently.
do it.
I literally don't remember what to do. I
Okay,
was not
so you
prepared
have
for
you have
combat.
4 enemies. Lucy, you have 4 enemies that are on 2 different teams. Dr. Opportunity and Emily are on Team Yellow. And Sassy, could you not paw at my door for a second? I am trying to do a thing. Give me just a moment. Okay, the cat has officially left the room. Anyway, so Lucy, you have 4 enemies and 1 teammate. And your 4 enemies are Opportunity and Emily on Team Yellow, and Teacup and Ellie on Team Green. Your task is simple. You have to shoot and hit the others, and they need to fail their saves so they light up in your team color and are knocked out. The last team standing, whether it's just one member or both members, wins the laser tag. So pick a target and try to shoot at them.
You there, Hoosh?
I'm here. I'm just trying to remember her name, the one that keeps getting 20s.
Emily. That would be
Emily?
Emily. That would be Emily Burnout. That would be the one with glasses. Well, the one with glasses.
The
that are square.
nerd.
No, Petals. There are 2 nerds here. Technically 3 if you count Lucy.
The shorter nerd.
Fair enough.
Everybody in
Short
this
nerd.
Lucy's also technically like 3'9", so he's also pretty short.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Emily isn't really that tall either. She's like 4'6", which I guess is just normal too in height, but eh.
Okay, so Lucy is going to try to aim his shot at Emily. I do not have any dexterity modification, so I am just going to send out a flat d20.
Oh boy.
That is an 11. That is probably trash.
So, okay, that does not meet her AC, and I'm starting to feel glad that I decided to get her the heckin' enhanced defense infusion this time around. Okay, that does not hit.
All right. And would you like to move anywhere on your imaginary little map? Because we do not have a map here. You can try and get yourself some partial cover, and that will make it more difficult to hit you, or you can just move so you're not in the same spot as your teammate.
I am going to move away from my teammate to be sort of like, I'm probably gonna be a target because I was the one that made the first move, so I am just gonna scoot over here a little.
All right. And that would be Hoosh. So, Emily, someone just tried to shoot at you. How would you like to answer that?
Okay, well, firstly, Emily is going to immediately run to find some cover, because, yeah, she just got aimed at first, and she feels like that's not gonna be the last at her. So, getting some partial cover. And, is Lucy under cover yet?
He did not move out undercover. He actually moved more into the open area.
So, yeah, there
Okay,
is no
she's gonna
cover
take a
for
shoot
Lucy.
at you.
All right.
The 17, does that hit, my friend?
Oh my
yeah,
good
his
lord.
AC is 10. That is really good.
All right. So, Lucy, you need to roll me a dexterity saving throw against a base of 15.
When his save is 0.
Who knows, you could get lucky. You did not get lucky.
Lucy, you light up a bright lemon-flavored yellow, and you actually see Dr. Opportunity fist pump. All right, you're out, Lucy. Go head over behind the dividers again.
Lucy just sort of chuckles, expecting that to happen, and he just goes to hide behind the dividers.
Layla will give him a nod.
All right, next up is Ollie. So, Ollie.
Oh, you mean Velvet?
Yes, I mean Velvet.
Okay.
You are tiny, so
Where-
you're actually harder to hit in this instance.
Where's Teacup?
Everybody is 20 feet away from you at the moment.
The amount of fear that
Okay.
just shot through my Tetris game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, keep going.
No, I'm just gonna say, Velvet's gonna roll out to where I guess she can see a little better, and just aim square at Teacup, just being like, "Look, you need to go find your mom, so I'll just go ahead and take care of you now, and then you can go find her." And shoots.
Is Ellie and Teacup like next to each other, like 5 feet away from each other because we started all together?
You would start 5 feet within each other, yeah.
Alright, then roll that at disadvantage because Ellie has protection fighting style and has a shield.
Ah, dang.
Nice.
I am delighted.
Wait, hang on. Now I want
Strategy.
to.
Sorry, Bobbins, I cut over the top of you.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm just seeing if there's any shenanigans I can pull with the sorcerer cast. But no.
Not at this level, you don't.
No, I could be telepathic, but that wouldn't really help right now. Oh, come on.
Ah,
So
the
glad we
tragedy.
disadvantage.
Ugh.
6 will miss, I assume.
Velvet just kind of, is it possible for Velvet to use her movement and just kind of scoot out of the way?
It is indeed possible, but you have the whole room as your oyster, basically.
I think Velvet's actually going to try to like prop up a cushion a little bit to hide behind.
Ah, delightful. And since you are tiny and the cushions are more appropriately sized for medium and larger, if you prop up a cushion, you'll actually have total cover, so they'll need to move so they can see you in order to hit you.
Yes.
The benefits of
Bunker
being
tower.
tiny. And after you is me! Oh dear god, the one guy who is really fucking good at guns. And Dr. Opportunity is, of course, going to scan the battlefield for the remainder. And of course, there's Teacup. Velvet has just gone behind total cover by means of propping up a cushion. And then there's, of course, Ally Emily standing nearby. And then there's Ellie.
Oh joy.
We're gonna go for Ellie. And
Alright.
give me a moment to look at his list of goody goodies. Okay, so seeing as he has the repeating shot infusion equipped at the moment, that is going to be another +1, so we get a +2 and +2. Does a 19 happen to hit Ellie?
Yeah, that's just above her armor class, so. Yep.
Would you roll me a dex save?
Yep. I don't think that makes it.
You turn a bright fluorescent yellow and you are out of initiative. I'm going to cross your name off of the team's list.
Yeah, I think probably what happened was she was too busy shielding Teacup and then got hit from behind and it's just like, ah.
Oh no, my cool teammate!
And it's just this hand
Aw.
on Teacup's shoulder. Avenge me before she leaves.
I will! In your honor!
And as the two of you exchange those words, Ty, would you roll me a perception check real quick?
As soon as I remember what my perception is.
Also, I apologize that I have not yet copy-pasted the important stuff to you for the character sheets. I will do that after the session, I promise. On a 12,
Oh, yeah.
you hear bootsteps getting closer, and there is now a towering shadow over you. Unless you use your action to disengage, your attacks with your gun will be at disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm going away.
It's not your turn yet. It's not your turn yet. But you are now in the face of a large size, which means he takes up 4 squares of space in the battlefield. Doctor, who is just kind of smiling down at you very sweetly. And Candle. Oh, you're out of initiative. That's right. It is Cherry's turn.
Disengage.
All right, that'll be your main action. You won't be able to shoot.
That's fine. I feel like I'm in horrible danger if I don't do this.
Call that a run and gun. Hey. Okay, so that is Teacup's turn. Next, it is back to. Oh, that's right. It looks like Lucy is out. So Lucy out of initiative. Emily, you're up.
So Emily is. Can Emily see Teacup running?
Emily can see Teacup running. You cannot yet see Velvet because Velvet popped up a cushion.
All right, Emily's gonna try and shoot Teacup.
Why are you targeting me? I'm 12.
Because you're running.
You agreed to the test, Ty.
Can't hit me. I'm a little.
That was a nat one though.
Ooh.
That was a nat one.
nat
She
one.
missed. Her glasses got like went out of place for a moment, and she ended up completely. Actually, because that was a nat one, does she accidentally shoot Dr. Opportunity instead?
She does, but the guns don't count team fire. It
Okay.
actually just pings effortlessly off him, and you hear a little bah from your gun. And you actually hear an automated Dr. Opportunity voice going, "No team fire." Dr. Opportunity doesn't look phased, he just waves a hand off.
Teacup, as he's running by, and if he notices you shooting at him, is going to just stick his tongue out at you as he runs.
Emily makes an offended noise.
Teacup, by the way, it is going to be, let's see. It is going to be Ollie's turn, but as just the one free roll you get for this section, would you roll me an intelligence check?
Horrible. All right.
A D10, you don't notice anything. It doesn't click to you immediately. Anyway, Velvet, you're up.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry to bully you, Teacup, but where is Teacup in relation to Velvet right now?
Teacup has probably run right past you without even realizing it.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, Velvet's gonna take fire as Teacup's distracted.
I'm 12.
And you're also bright red. You make it an easy target.
And I'm small, and I'm still hitting things.
Oh,
Trying to build
worry. Don't worry, Velvet. I'm going to get to you very soon.
Okay, does a 16 work?
Does a 16 hit? If it does, roll me a dex save.
You meant me, right?
No, it is, yes, it will be a dex save
Oh.
against, it is a dex save for Teacup against your spell save.
Ah, okay.
Does an 11 make it?
I mean, I don't think so.
Oh, alright.
And you glow bright purple. You're out.
He throws
Team
his gun
Green
against the
has been
ground.
eliminated.
He throws his gun against the ground and walks away.
You just hear a hooting and hollering from the floorboards.
You get a boo from behind the petitions.
Aww. And it is now my turn. So, Dr. Opportunity is going to look around, and I'm going to roll a perception check to see if he actually notices the cushion of which you've used to prop up for yourself as just a cover.
Do not perceive. Please do not perceive.
It's just like, don't let the Terminator see me. Don't let the Terminator see me.
It's that bit in Jurassic Park.
That's a
where
nat
things
one,
go
so he doesn't notice. He is looking around, and you can feel the vibrations as he steps right past you. But he is a large size, so he ends up staying within your space. You still have disadvantage to hit him. He is
okay,
completely
as long as he doesn't
oblivious to you, however, and very, very narrowly misses stepping on you outright. He instead turns to Emily at the end of this turn and goes, "Do you happen to see where the tiny went?"
I'm gonna roll a perception check if you don't. Or am I allowed to roll a perception check, or can I do that on my turn?
You are allowed to roll him because he is going to instead hold his action, so he is ready to fire at the first sign he sees Velvet move or run.
Okay, so it just goes back to the turn order anyway. So, okay, so would you be perception check? Would that take my action?
We will say that yes, it will take your action.
All right, she's using her action to readjust her glasses after they slipped a bit, and looking. So 19.
That is you have perceived the tiny.
I mean, do you think that they'd be allowed to roll like a contesting stealth or something?
Sure, go ahead. Would the tiny roll a stealth check?
See what? Okay. Let's see if Velvet can very carefully sneak away.
I do forget about contesting stealth checks, but I doubt an 11 will beat 19.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You are perceived. Emily just points at you there, just says, there.
All right, and it will now be. Give me just a moment. Yeah, Velvet, you're up.
Okay, so so opportunity is standing in the same place, right?
He is standing right next to you, so if you need to get away from him, you would have to disengage or risk an attack of opportunity. But I'm Tish.
Opportunity.
and no spells. Dang, okay, yeah. So I think Velvet's just gonna say, peck it, especially considering she's already been spotted. So she's just gonna shoot like straight up at opportunity. Like right upward tab. So should I do that at disadvantage? Hello?
Mikey? You there? Oh no, the DM is dead.
Oh no.
Oh
Well.
I guess Discord
The
took this
DM is dead,
opportunity
folks.
to
Session's
step up.
over.
I can't believe Velvet killed.
Just for some added flavor, while we're waiting for the DM to get back, Layla and Lucy are deep in conversation about college and books and magic, and Ellie is shouting from the sidelines at both of your teams, and it's not 100% clear who she's going for now. She just wants people to get out.
Gosh, what freaking words I say as I'm playing Emily.
Teacup is absolutely
I
yelling
love-
alongside you, but
I'm alive.
hi,
You're
welcome
alive!
back.
I don't know why the internet flickered out. The weather is clear and everything, but we're not going to jinx it. Whose turn was it? I got frazzled by the internet loss. Okay, so Emily used action to perceive. It is Velvet's turn.
Velvet's
Velvet.
turn.
And Velvet's just shooting straight up at opportunity. Like,
All right, that'll be at disadvantage.
that's okay. Yeah. What if I can get any lower? No, okay.
If you could get lower, I would have felt so bad. But no, a 9 just sails right past him, and you don't even graze the mustache. Though you can see just the way the wind barely rustles it as that blast fires by. His expression is unchanging and ominous.
Would it be against the rules for Velvet to just get a little frustrated with the competition and just grab onto his leg?
That would not be against the rules, though you're a tiny, so I'm not even going to have you roll for grappling. You're not going to grapple him. But yeah, you can get on his leg, sure.
No, this is more of a, you're not going to shoot your own leg, are you?
It's a Hail Mary, we understand. But
Yeah.
let me check the turn order again. So that was Velvet, and then it is me. And you are incorrect. He will indeed shoot at his own leg. It is not disadvantaged because he has the gunner feat.
He has gunner feet, you say.
Does a 10 hit?
No, actually.
It does indeed bounce off of his leg, believe it or not. But it's just a moment of, you can kind of see the way he stands awkwardly on one leg as he tries to shake you off at first. And after shaking you off fails, he tries to shoot at you and misses not just you, but actually misses his foot too. And starts looking slightly frustrated, but it's in the comical, playful way, not in the genuinely angry kind of way. And just, he holds his leg out so that Emily can see it and just goes, "Burn out!" And, by the way, Emily, your turn.
And, assuming that opportunity is holding leg still.
He is holding his leg still. Yeah, he's holding it right out like a stick.
Alright. Shooting time. That's a 23! Does a 23 hit?
I need to see your character down and ask about these rolls.
Emily's just lucky. Emily is just trained in the art of kill.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Velvet's AC was pretty high at 16, but apparently not.
Oh, that is 1 point higher than Dr. Opportunities, which is 15.
Oh boy. But also, apparently it seems that despite everything, the only actual physical activities Emily has done in her life was laser tag. Apparently,
Laser tag's a cool hobby, but Velvet, that'll be a dex save against Emily's spell save.
Okay. Oh, well, no, that is way off.
That's a lot. That was a lot.
wrong. Wrong modifier.
Whoopsie!
Whoopsie doopsie.
All 30!
Oh, that's a 5. Yeah, that doesn't make it, buddy. You're yellow now. That's for attack.
All
This
right.
little stuffed rabbit is making it dramatic as possible. Like,
Just glows bright as the sun as you fall from Dr. Opportunity's leg. And that
It's like a
knocked
slow-mo.
Velvet out. I believe the last team standing is Team Yellow. Which Opportunity very triumphantly clicks his heels about, making a metallic clang as he does.
Emily
I'm gonna
just
bite
dusts
your
off her
ankle.
hands, trying to look cool.
A wonderful job, if I must say, Miss Burnout. Have you ever considered part-time work at Opportunity Labs, target practice? You'd make an excellent student.
Well, I'm already as busy as is, so I'll take it down a little. But I guess if I ever need any jobs, I'll look into it.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. I hope everyone enjoyed the laser tag portion of the tests. We have 2 smaller portions, and then we should be done with testing for the day. Just as a note, of course, per the toy review, did everyone enjoy using their laser pistols and laser rifles?
yeah.
Do I get to keep one if I say yes?
Ellie is grumbling under her breath about not even getting a chance to use hers, so...
Oh. We will discuss whether you get to keep one or not at the end of testing, but do keep it in mind. Do keep it in mind. Now, if you decide not to keep the model for a laser pistol or laser rifle, complete with a charger, to take home with you, you will get 50 gold for this first experiment.
It's very obvious that Teacup is thinking about this.
You don't have to think about it immediately. We still have 2 smaller tests to go. But that in mind, please set down your models back on the counter and we'll move to the next stage.
Velvet sets her stuff down, but you can tell she's like still pretty giddy and really just kind of wants to do another laser tag match.
Aw. He makes note of that, but he doesn't say anything because he's also trying to stick to the other experiments that are planned, at least. Which brings you to the next counter in the same room, which has what looks to be a set of... They look like flash grenades, like very cartoony flash grenades, like flashbangs. But they each have different little colored stickers on them. And they are sized for medium creatures, but hello? Yeah?
Do you think we could take a small break?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. 5-minute break, everybody!
Woo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, my voice hurt. But I'm okay. Anyways, laser tag fun. I don't think Lucy will take the gun because he needs money for supplies. He's running low on his herbalism kits.
Oh, don't worry. You're going to get 2 more portions of 50 gold after this. So, depending on if you decide not to take home those specific models or not, because there are 2 more toys to test.
Woohoo! Toys!
Teacup
God.
really wants the toys, but also he knows much and was wanting them to get a bit of gold at least. So this is an internal issue.
Internal conflict.
Does he disappoint his brother but please himself, or does he disappoint himself but please his brother? This is always the sibling decision.
God. Yeah, no, internal debate for Ellie as well. Just like toys, gold. Toys, gold. Toys, gold.
Here's a simple solution for this: just get half the gun and half the gold.
No, do not break the guns. You will be kicked out of the premises immediately. Do not break the guns. Please
I'm
do not break.
joking.
Do not. I am also smiling as I say it. Just do not. If it's an accident, it's okay. But yeah, everybody just 5-minute break, everybody. But yeah,
I don't think I have to
Doctor
go and do
Opportunity.
anything, but I just
He
need a
has
break.
the butter feet and the repeating shot infusion. So
I have a question that doesn't relate to anything, I swear.
yeah,
How much trouble will I get in for trying to sleight of hand a gun?
I don't know. Fuck around and find out.
Maybe I will.
Go right on ahead. Bet you won't.
Oh boy.
But don't do that right
After
now.
the
Wait
break?
until
Yeah,
everybody's back.
After the break.
Oh no. Also, instead of putting browser history back on again, I'm just gonna grab some different laboratory music. Maybe I will grab another.
I was listening to browser history as well.
I
Same
think
brain.
I will grab a song from the Amori OST because there is a well, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there is laboratory music.
Nice. I also sent a video that I have been very quietly listening to in the background.
Nice. But also using video game music might help with the whole copyright thing because I think because I've heard the Amori OST in various YouTube videos, so I'm pretty sure that it's good to use for like that.
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
like,
From
YouTube.
what I've seen of songs, like music songs, video game songs on YouTube, those videos still tend to stay up a while, so I think it's okay to use them. So
Yeah.
Generally, it is safe to use video game music because it's just I keep forgetting why, but it's just for some reason that video game is more safe to use than kind of lyric music.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, that usually tends to be the case, especially like indie game music. Like I've seen a lot of people use Undertale OST because, well, I mean it slaps, but also seen a lot of Undertale OST in various videos, even if they're not relating to the game. Same with Amori, and definitely a lot of Nintendo music.
You guys talking about music to play in background of things?
Yeah. I'm not sure if browser history is safe
it's
or
not
not,
gonna
but
be
you know
much
what? It's
longer.
already in the recording, so you know what?
Oh, Bobbins is not in call, right? One moment.
Yeah, Mikey, this has been a very, very fun game so far.
It has. It's been great fun.
Oh, thank you.
I like having fun. This is fun.
Yeah, this is very fun.
And I will say, yeah, there are just 2 more toy tests, but they're not 2-parters like the laser gun test. They're just ahead of time. You are testing a set of smoke grenades, and then you are testing an interactive toy pet.
Bro, spoilers.
And I'm just giving you a heads up for how much longer it's going to be. It's not going to be too long.
Okay. Though just a little tidbit from one DM to another. I feel like the bigger 2-parter is probably best to put at the end rather at the beginning.
That is fair.
So that it's like
That is
more
fair.
climactic
I will
and
keep
stuff.
that in mind, yeah.
Yeah. But still, this is very fun.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I have an upcoming weather alert? Hang on.
Oh no.
Oh, it's just dense fog. We're fine. We're fine. I mean, I don't have to drive in it, so I'm okay, but family, siblings,
Also, don't mind the jingling in the background. We finally got house keys for each of us in the family because apparently we didn't do that before. and keys make good noise. Noise stem good.
I'm not so
Noise
sure
stims
if
are
it's
good.
a noise stim as much as it is like a just a playing with things stim. But I do the like pen lid click on and off a lot.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, that yes. Pen click also very good.
I mentioned the escape room I did earlier today. They gave us a black light and a flashlight to use during it.
Ooh.
Anyone who had it in our group of like 5 neurodivergent people just kept clicking them and clicking them and clicking them and clicking them and clicking, and we would not stop.
Amazing.
I'm
Listen,
a
I
little
have-
bit worried about running down the batteries, but it was fun.
I will say, I think one of the only stims I have is, aside from possibly leg bouncing, there is one stim that I share with. Okay, I would politely ask that perhaps the key jangling be turned down a bit. It's okay.
I will
You
neutralize
can
it
still
when I'm
jangle
not
it.
talking.
It is okay. But, like, is I like to. For some reason, I like to slap my knees. I don't know why. It just like knee claps, knee slaps, just hand clappies, hand rubbies, just slap, slap, slap.
Hmm.
I do that too if I'm really, really excited.
My main ones is like playing with my jewelry or like my hair, or like anything that I have in my hand.
Ooh, that is valid. When I had longer hair, I used to love stimming with it, either by wrapping it around my fingers or just like gently chewing it. And this was a stim, mind you, that lasted well into my teens. This was before I decided to go short hair and decided, ooh, wait, that gives me gender euphoria. We're sticking with short.
Fair. Nah, I've got my hair up in a ponytail and it just is like around my finger. Foop, foop, foop.
Yeah, Mikey, I used to do the exact same thing when I was a lot younger. I must have been like elementary or something, but my mother cut my hair really short after that, and I've had it short ever since. So no funny hair stems for me. It's all just short.
Ooh. Okay, so Ollie has asked us if we could make it into a two-parter because there is a health problem going on at the moment.
Oh boy.
I'm cool with
Valid.
doing the other part.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Yeah, I'm cool to make it a two-parter.
All right, then. Yeah, with the laser gun / laser rifle testing concluded. Teacup, if you would like to make one of the last things you do for this session before Dr. Opportunity moves you onward, you can make a sleight of hand check, and I'm going to make a perception check for him.
I will.
Can I also make a perception check just because?
You sure can.
Me too?
Everyone can if you want to.
Oh no! Oh, it's a down one!
I'm
All
gonna
the
roll
people not to
perception too
notice.
real quick, because, yeah.
Emily is just giving Teacup a look like, what are you doing? But not actually saying anything.
Dr. Opportunity is so caught up in this tour and the excitement of, ooh, okay, willing test subjects, let's move on, that he just has not processed that the little kid has just pocketed. Would you pocket a pistol or rifle?
Pistol, I think. I think he like, he grabs one. It slips out of his hands. It clatters on the floor. He kind of juggles it a bit, and then, as everyone else is staring at him, except for Dr. Opportunity, shoves it in his head.
Lucy's not gonna rat him out because he works for a thief.
Yeah, nope.
He
You get a thumbs up from Ellie, and Layla's just shaking her head.
and hey, Emily, you are getting a death stare. Like, he's
Emily's
doing
just
the, zip
squinting
your
at
lips.
you.
He's doing like the zip your lips motion.
Emily's just
I will say
squinting at you.
For the FPS that is tomorrow, I am going to assume, at least for the second part, Dr. Opportunity will still not notice that the toy the laser tag pistol has been stolen. So
It's in
you
his
will, in
hammer
fact,
space.
have that in your hammer space for the FPS tomorrow.
Congratulations, you have a gun.
With that being said, one of our players is having a health issue, so we're going to wrap this up as a part 1 to part 2 of Now Hiring. As we conclude, Dr. Opportunity leads them toward the next room and the next counter, which has a series of what appear to be color-coded flashlight grenades sitting on a counter. Again, very toony and very simple, but still very much based on flashbangs, with different labels, and you can kind of see a series of small cardboard boxes underneath the counter, of which all have a label which I will read before we conclude. And the labels read, Dr. Opportunities, with the TM, Big Escape Smoke Bombs. And you could see on the different boxes, there are actually different colors listed. There's the traditional, there's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, black. And then there are 3 weird ones, or 3 fun ones. There's Bombastic, Red Hot, and Holier Than Thou. And that will be where we conclude. So that has been part 1 of Golden Opportunities, episode 1, Now Hiring. We thank you all for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show that has no doubt been entertaining for everyone else here so far. If everybody would like to say goodbye to the recording, you can. Goodbye!
Sweet dreams!
Bye.
Bye-bye. I forgot about push to talk again.